warm and welcome. It is episode 194 of Stu's Wrestling Podcast. We are back. It's 2025, baby. I've got a returning guest waiting in the wings. I'm not going to do a long-winded intro for myself today and go through all that because I've got a guest who I have got so much time for, and I've got so much time for him as a person. And he was on the show 4.5 years ago in 2020. We were still in COVID. It is Mr. Gino Rivera in the house. All the way from New Mexico, baby.
Yes. How you doing?
Good, mate. And thank you so much for the rescheduling of this due to the issue we had 2 weeks ago over here. You're just class personified. I'll always say that about you. And just thank you, man.
Life happens, and trust me, I go through all kinds of events where I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta be here, and I actually can't make it. But that's the good thing about rescheduling. So here I am.
Bookings wise, what's coming up? I know you're here, there, and everywhere in America. Of course, I know you're always busy. Bookings galore. I'm just trying to help the business, man. That's what
booking wise, I'm booked up till literally, December, of this year. So, you can't really see it, but there's dates all over this thing, whether it be podcasts, wrestling, meet and greets, seminars, you name it. I am there. You can definitely book me at Gino_Rivera at yahoo.com. I'm available on all social media platforms. I respond quickly because I'm a professional. So the next few dates I've got, I'm headed to Wisconsin, Texas, Arizona. I wrestle in Albuquerque, New Mexico, right here, Oklahoma, Montana, you name it, I will be there. See Gino Rivera live, coming to a city near you.
I've seen some scathing actions from yourself backstage. There was a video that surfaced. You get quite nasty when you want to,
Yeah, sometimes people deserve a case of the beats is what we call it. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, when you flap your gums too much, when you call Gino Rivera out, when you accept a match from Gino Rivera, when you get one over on Gino Rivera, I've always got something up my sleeve, somewhere, sometime, someplace. And if you're not careful, I will come and find you. I will get you. And that's what I do. That's why I'm Mr. Backstage Assault. Shout out to the old WCW game. But that's why I, Gino Rivera, am Mr. Backstage Assault, because that's when you're most vulnerable as a wrestler. Backstage, that's when you're most comfortable. That's where you feel like you've got friends around you and you least expect, the worst thing to happen until Gino Rivera sneaks into the building, and now it's an issue.
I just can't believe this. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I just can't believe it.
It all makes sense.
Business is business. Absolutely. All business, Gino Rivera, of course. I'd like to ask you as well, how is the scene over there? Things change on the regular. What's your perception of the scene at the moment and where it is over there in the States, man?
I'm going to agree with something I heard last night. I was up working late in my office, and I heard that wrestling today is hotter than the Attitude Era in the 90s. I'm going to say that is 100% true. Just to be alive in the business, just to be active, a wrestler, a referee, a commentator, backstage personnel, there is so much work. The business is thriving, and we're seen more as local celebrities, global celebrities, national celebrities. The business is thriving because of said companies, WWE, which has made wrestling not only great, but cool again. I remember maybe 10, 15 years ago, you tell somebody you're a professional wrestler and they'd laugh, or you tell somebody, oh, I watch wrestling, and they'd be like, they'd say the nasty word that we must not say. But today you tell people that you are a wrestler and they go, oh yeah, man, I watch it time to time. Or, hey, yeah, Travis Scott was on there. And yeah, I used to watch when Triple H and Undertaker was on, and it's just, to me, I feel so privileged to be in this business. I love this business. I tell my students, I'll tell anybody who will listen to me, I live, breathe, eat, sleep, and this business. You know what I mean? I love it, and I couldn't be happier. Congratulations to WWE being on Netflix. Because they thrive, the independent scene thrives as well,
Mm.
and it's just such a great place for independent wrestlers. You know, I've never worked as hard as I have now for the last 4 years than I've had ever in my career because of what the WWE is doing on TV to make us independent level wrestlers um, have more work and look so much better than we actually are. So thank you.
People are moaning about promo time on Netflix. So that's got nothing to do with Netflix. There's always been promos. Attitude Era is full of promos. There's not enough wrestling. That's not a Netflix issue. They're housing the show. They're not producing the show. The show stays the same. Kevin Dunn's there. It's like, I'll take people's opinions. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shooting people down. Have an opinion, of course. It was promo filled. How do you build up a story? It's not just done in the ring. The story's not just told in the ring. That's what I said to somebody. What do you think in terms of the format of the show? It's got nothing to do with Netflix, though. It would have been the same on USA.
Oh, my gosh. I got that question the other day. One of the students, not even student, one of the younger wrestlers from my old school that I went to that brought me into business. His name is James Brady. And he asked me 4 questions. And one of the questions were, what would you like to see on TV? What more would you like to see on TV? And what less would you like to see on TV? And I told him, I said, I come from an era, I grew up in the 90s, I'm an 80s baby, but I grew up where I'd watch vignettes explaining a character. And, there wasn't really a guy standing in the ring for 25 minutes, cutting a scathing promo or boring the crowd. And then I compared it to when Triple H had his reign of terror in like the mid early 2000s. And he would come out every single Monday night and he'd talk like this and he'd bore the crowd and then no one cared. And I was like, oh gosh, like another Triple H promo. And today I value that because I knew what he was doing. But as a fan, I was like, this is bonkers. I don't want to see an in-ring promo. I want to see wrestling. That's what I came here to see. I want to see guy A beat guy B or girl A beat girl B, and how I answered that question is I said, I'd like to see more vignettes in wrestling. I remember when Razor Ramon came in and all the vignettes that they had, you know what I mean? When Edge was like mysterious and they were playing all these crazy vets and vignettes. And I was like, who is this guy? I want to know more. Today, they just go, this guy is coming in and they have him beat a guy like me on Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown. And it's just like, okay, we know he's tough. We know he's a monster, but what else can we sink our teeth into? So I'd like to see more vignettes, just kind of explaining a character and stuff like that. In-ring promos are cool. Yeah, they can definitely tell a story, but Undertaker and Shawn Michaels also prove that you don't even have to talk to go, there's a story here, right? I remember them looking at the sign, looking at each other, you know what I mean? And Undertaker going, yeah, right? And I was like, oh, I know what's going on. This is going to be great. They're going to WrestleMania. They're going to fight. There's a history there, You don't always necessarily need a mic time, but I mean, I love promos myself because I like cutting them, but I understand where they go in a show, and it doesn't have to be 30 minutes before a match on USA or Netflix. Get it in, get it out, backstage, let's get back to the ring,
It's 2 hours and 30 now as well. All right, give or take. Okay? It's not 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's not 3 hours anymore. And then SmackDown's free. Obviously, it's gone. They've gone over to USA for you guys. We get everything in the one place. But yeah, who is exciting you? Who are you loving within WWE at the moment? Who's the one, man?
I clap loud for myself, but I clap louder for my friends. And right now, I am over the moon with my buddy, Jacob Fatu. I am so happy for him, but at the same time, I'm like, I wish that was me. I wish I was there. And every time I see him, this man gives me the most monstrous hug you could imagine. It literally lifts me off the floor. You know what I mean? And it's a funny story because I was in the business before Jacob Fatu got in the business. Let's hold on. Let's run that back. I was professionally wrestling in the business before Jacob was starting his career. Because I mean, you know, he's Samoan. Those guys, they're born into the business out of the womb, right? They fall into a ring. But I remember Jacob Fatu, seeing him in Los Angeles, California at Knox Pro, and he was doing a show. He was still, as they call it, green and stuff like that. But I remember my last main event in California that I wrestled in 2013 or 12 before moving out of the state. Jacob Fatu was there, and I said, "What's going on? Why are you here? What's going on?" He goes, "I came to see you. I came to watch you in the main event. I'm here to support you." And I never forgot that. And right now, to see him grace my screen, right now to see him walk past me in the halls in WWE, it is amazing. And I clap so loud for that man because I'm so proud. We all know his story. And if you don't, please check it out. Get into it. This is a man who's turned himself around, lost a lot of weight. He knows the job he has. He knows how hard he's going to have to work to keep that job, to keep that steady check, to keep that push he's getting. And this is a man who knows what it's like to be at rock bottom and now knows what it's like to be on top of the world. And you have just seen a little pinch of what Jacob Fatu can do. I cannot wait until, things happen for this man. This is a future WWE champion. I promise you. Big up and much love to Jacob Fatu.
It says it all when the San Antonio crowd want him to come back in and moonsault Braun again. Let the blood spew. Let the blood spew. That is the beauty of it. The heel is getting cheered to do it all the more. That's a breakout moment that they'll play for years and years. We all know what ability that man had, Gino. I watched him in MLW. With the country unit for years. I just knew there was something. And like you say, stepping up to the plate and some at the moment.
I mean, they did the same thing with Bronson Reed, right? Bronson Reed did the whole jumping off the top rope, killing Seth, you know what I mean? And he did it like 10 times. And I think for him, it was more of a, oh my gosh moment, like, oh, stop, right? And then when Jacob Fatu was doing it, it was like, do it again. We like this guy. You know what I mean? He's different. He stands out. You know what I mean? We want to cheer for this guy. And it happens a lot with me in wrestling as well, where I can be so dastardly. I could be conniving and sneaky. And, it sucks because I'm not supposed to get these cheers. I'm supposed to be booed. But I go to every show and they just go, we like to cheer you. We like to boo you. And I'm like, I'm the bad guy through and through. I don't play that. I am that. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. Some promoters like to use me and they go, hey, we like you to be a bad guy, a bad heel, and don't get them to cheer for you. And I can't help it. They love me. So it is what it is.
Like to say about the training school, just coming away from WWE, because I want to come back to WWE. You know why? Because obviously off camera we have sorted some stuff, but I want to come back to that. I just want to talk about the training school. Obviously, off the ropes, and you training the guys and gals there in Albuquerque, New Mexico, man. And a shout out to that and just promoting it and getting more people to come along, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have the information here because I have to pull up everything. I write everything down. But my school's name is Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling, OTR. We are located in the southwest of the United States, and that is in Albuquerque, New Mexico. We are open Monday through Thursday from 4 to 8. And literally we have prices that can help you succeed in wrestling. It's not cheap, but it's also not expensive. And you look around anywhere in the Southwest, I've got the best prices because I understand a young 18-year-old fresh out of high school, barely has money. They're working at McDonald's, they're working at a pizzeria place, and all they have is enough for gas, a little entertainment, and to pay their cell phone bill. And I can work with people like that, and I do. So I have people from anywhere from 16, 18, all the way to about 47 was my oldest student. We train women, we train men, we train you if you're big, you're skinny, you're short, you're tall, you're brown, you're yellow, you're green, you're purple. I don't care. We are open to all communities, the LGBTQ community. We are always accepting, no matter what you are, who you love. what religion, what race, who you voted for. We don't care. Come to Albuquerque, New Mexico. Come to Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling. Get trained by yours truly, Gino Rivera. 17 years in the business, multiple championships, probably 23 collectively in the last 17 years. But I've done stints with AEW, GCW, WWE. I'm one of the top professional wrestlers in my region, in my city, in my state, around the country. You know, dipping into Mexico, you'll learn all avenues through Gino Rivera. Check me out, Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling.
Perfect, man. Got to promote, and I felt obliged that we bring the training school up, and you're going to get trained the right way. I can tell you that straight away, because there is fly by night people.
Yes.
There's a big problem. There's a big problem over here. People untrained getting in that ring.
Oh yeah, we've got that here too.
How do you feel? How do you feel about that? Because people have been put on blast over here, and rightly so. Rightly so. Yeah.
So for me, it's definitely something that is frowned upon, but can be corrected. You know what I mean? The first thing I usually ask is, why aren't you training on a regular? Why don't you go to a school? Why are you just, wrestling to wrestle, and you're not very good at it? And most of the time it's, hey, I don't have the time. I don't have money. I don't have this. Well, you know what? I have about 32 students collectively today right now. We opened in July of 2019, and we're going strong consistently every single weekend, all month, all year, every year. And a lot of the times I'll get these students that are like, hey, I have to quit. I can't afford this. I don't have the time for this. My job, I'm low on cash, and I kind of go, hey, cry me a river. There's people that will work harder than you, and that will come up with the money and come up with the schedule. I've had students leave jobs, trade jobs just to do this because they wanted to. Working on the weekend is detrimental for a pro wrestler because that's our time to work. So, I've had people trade jobs, get multiple jobs. I, yours truly, held 3 jobs at one time to continue my professional wrestling career. I've been there where I've gone to my trainers, that Santino Bros, Joey Chaos of XPW, and I said, I can't afford this. I have to quit. And they told me, do not quit. Keep going. We're not going to let you. And that's the same attitude I have with my students. But to the untrained professional wrestlers, I invite them to come to train with me to see what they can do. Some people move states. I've had people fly in from Washington, North Dakota, come up through Mexico, you name it, just to train with me. And I'm like, this is awesome. But to the untrained professional wrestlers, I cannot say that you're not going to succeed. There was a tag team by the name of the Hardy Boys who, literally trained on a trampoline. There's a few people that I know who have never been trained, and they're one of the best professional wrestlers in the world today. And to the life of me, I can't understand how that happens, but I know people that have paid $3,000 to a WWE ID school or a school with a big name behind it, and they are the drizzling shits. So I always tell people, it's not where you train, it's who you train with, and I offer people to get professional wrestling training. Rather, if it's not through me, I list other schools that they can go to, but I highly encourage it. And I also try not to step into the ring with these guys because they can hurt somebody, let alone hurt themselves. And I've been guilty of it where I'm like, oh, this guy's told me he was trained by, this guy, Butch Reed, whoever it is, and all of a sudden we get in the ring. I'm like, you said you could do this. You said you could understand psychology and get to A to B, what happened? And that's when I kind of go, okay, we could never get in the ring again, but here's what we can do to fix it. I won't bash people online. You got to always be careful of what you say because someone will pull out your skeletons out of the closet. Mm-hmm. So, and everybody has them. So, I just tell people that aren't trained, get training. It's the best thing you can do. You can try to work for somebody. If you don't have money, there's other ways you can earn professional wrestling training. I've seen guys clean rings, tear down rings, set up chairs, work for free to get pro wrestling training. There's no excuse why you cannot get trained.
Perfect. We have got a message in the chat from a good friend, Justin Clapper. all the way from Wisconsin. I'm going to fire it right now. I'm going to read it out to you. Justin Clapper,
Yes.
who are some of the wrestlers you've trained?
So I have trained, oh my gosh, I have a list of them here. So I have trained right now, one of my top students, his name is JKM, and you see him all over Brett Lauderdale's company, GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. He is a young prospect. One of the highlights of the night on every single GCW show he's ever on. And I physically brought this kid in and took him out of any slump that he was in New Mexico and literally brought him to the bright lights. And now you can see him weekly on FSW, Future Stars of Wrestling, where they've literally brought up, guys like Chris Bay. The list continues, you know what I mean? So you can check Joe DeFalco out in Vegas. But I've trained JKM, Gypsy Mac, who's a national traveler who is still going all over the place. That was my first student ever, and she is wonderful. She's learning the business, succeeding at the business. This is a girl who gets flown out in her first 4 or 5 years of the business. I didn't get flown out until my 9th year in the business, and I love it. I also have a kid named Ocean Avery, who's a giant monster performing all over Game Changer Wrestling. He is someone to be reckoned with, who makes his debut also in Italy, I believe in March or May. So check for that guy. He's going to be something special. Another guy, Dante King, who is literally one of the champions at FSW, Future Stars of Wrestling in Vegas, which you can see him on the Triller app. He was one of mine as well. I can literally go through a bunch of names, but those are one of my 4 of my top students that are literally doing things the right way, getting seen, and they're out and about, and they will do anything to get on a show and showcase their skills and talents, to the best of their ability. So big ups to them. Shout out also to my school, Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling. Check us out.
Perfectly put. Justin, thank you very much. Gino, Justin is another person within the business, been around the business up there in Wisconsin and surrounding areas. He understands the business. He understands it, and he's for the good of the business. No ego, wants to help people.
Love it.
So very
Love
much,
it.
very much, similar to you in that respect.
Justin, hit me up in the DM, man. Let's chat. I love helping people just as much as you love to, and I love learning the business. As a 17-year vet in this business, one thing you can never do is know it all, right? So how I do that is I continue being a student of the game. When you're a student of the game, you'll be a student of the game forever. You'll always take in things, retain, and pass along. And that's the dream thing about the business. The best thing about the business is when you learn something, you can't hold it. You can't take it in you when you die. You have to give it away. You have to give it up. And that's what I love doing. I love going and working for the biggest company in the world, learning, people watching, just seeing what Triple H does, how it's run, how the show's done, and then going, hey, I'm going to take all that and I'm going to bring it to my school. And that is why people sign up and train with me.
Thank you, Gino. Thank you for looking after everybody and coming from a good place. We've got Larry Harrison in the comments. Gino, greatest trainer ever.
Oh, man, I hope to be one of the greatest trainers. I know there's a lot of great trainers around. I will tell you this, that the greatest trainer in the world to me was my trainer. His name is Joey Chaos of XPW, Santino Bros Wrestling. This is a man that taught me my fundamentals, who literally was patient with me, who never gave up on me, taught me the hard way, basically gave me everything I know now that I pass on to my students. So we're learning basically off the same book that I learned, and I'm passing it down. And when, I decide to hang it up in this business sometime soon, my students, whenever or whoever, will probably open their school, and they'll be literally going from a Santino Bros handbook. And that has carried a lot of my students, the formulas, the way we think, the way we do things, the way we walk and talk and carry ourselves, locker room etiquette, you name it. That is all thanks to my trainers. I've got a list of them. Excuse me if I forget anybody, but Joey Chaos, Angel Exotico, Steve Payne, Robbie Phoenix, Carnage, the late great XPW legend, Supreme, Clay Montley. I can't thank you guys enough. Joey Rico Dynamite, all these guys. I had 11 trainers all put their hands on me in the ring, out of the ring, in my mind, in my heart. And I can't thank them enough. I tell my students, once you train with me, you've got to leave the nest. You've got to get trained by everybody. I cannot teach you everything. There are so many better trainers than I am, and I appreciate people saying that I'm a great trainer or one of the best trainers ever. I love that. That makes my heart happy. But I also have to give love and due to other trainers out there. You know what I mean? The Monster Factory, Rikishi, Booker T, Seth Rollins. There's so many places to go where you can learn to be a wrestler. Create a pro, and I believe in New York or New Jersey, that was responsible for MJF. There's a lot of great places to train, and I'm just glad to be one of them in the Southwest. I think I am the best trainer in the Southwest, bar none. Yes, absolutely. In the world, I don't know.
You're humble. You can say that, and that statement's got weight. Absolutely. Jordan Stofus, I think I can't read it because the lettering's a bit small. The Puerto Rican Pitbull. Been following his work for years. Love his style.
Yes. Man, I love that. I've been going by the Puerto Rican Pitbull since 2008, I believe. That name came to me when my trainer, my jaw just popped. That came to me when my trainer saw me grappling, shoot wrestling in training, and he would line them up, and I would literally take them down, put them in holds, work them, and I would not be out of breath. I was younger at that time, and my I can still hear him in my ear. My trainer would be like, "Oh, he's a pit bull. Oh, he's the Puerto Rican pit bull. Look at him. He's like a dog, baby." And I just remember hearing him while I'm on the mats and I'm getting this guy in a choke, and I'm potentially going to get choked out, but I reverse it and I'm, working him through and doing whatever. And I love that. And that's how I got that name, the Puerto Rican pit bull. So, there's Canadian pit bulls, Brazilian pit bulls, but out of all the pit bulls, the Puerto Rican pit bull is the best, baby.
Pitbull by name, pitbull by nature. As we
Absolutely.
said about the backstage at Saturday of the week. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I actually look like a dog, I've been told as well. So I don't know when I guess I have pit bull features. I don't know, but I'll take it. I'll take it. Right now I'm trying to go as the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia, I'm trying to be Dapper Don here, but I guess people's, they see is a dog, so I'll take it.
Jason Wayne, keep pushing. Yeah, absolutely. Let's help one another.
Thank you, Jason.
Let's help one another in wrestling. There's plenty of people.
Jason, I've been pushing for 17 years collectively, consistently, through injury, through hard times, through good times, through the best times of my life. I've been pushing. I can't lie and say that I've never wanted to quit the business. Every day I wake up and I'm like, oh, I think it's time. But again, I live, breathe, eat, shit, sleep this business. And I can't really give up because I have people that look up to me. I have people that are students, wrestlers that look up to me, and they're waiting for me to have my Jacob Fatu moment. You know what I mean? They're waiting for me to excel in wrestling. And you can say, you've been excelling and doing great for 17 years. What else do you need to do? Well, I need to obtain a contract this time and potentially take my family out of the slums into paradise. And I'm the only one qualified to do that in my entire family. As my family, we come from very hard times. We come from alcohol, we come from drugs, we come from prostitution, we come from, I can't say, the R word, there's a lot of bad stuff in my family, and I took my life and turned it around, and I used it as fuel to pursue my career, my dreams. So once I obtain that contract, I have the option of helping my family get off drugs, putting them in alcohol programs, taking my mother out of prostitution and out of the escort business, out of the porn industry, taking my sister out of strip clubs and off of drugs. I have the options to take care of my sick brothers who cannot afford medicine. I can pay for that. I can put my family in a home instead of having them stress out on bills. So that is why I do this. I'm looking to make as much money as I can to help my family.
Amazing. I just know You're amazing, mate. You know how I feel about you, brother. You know. So yeah, I want to challenge you to do a wrestling match, bro. Right, you've been called
Yeah.
out. The Pitbull's been called out here.
Yeah. Hey, look, I don't turn down anything. In California, we say we don't turn down fades, meaning I love a good fight. So shout out to Fit Finley. I know he has a slogan. My name is Finley, and I love to fight. Well, my name is Gino Rivera, and I love to fight.
We've got Mary Ellen Martinez. We love Gino in Greeley, Colorado. Fire emoji at the end there. Fire.
Yes, shout out to you, Mary. I used to wrestle in Greeley, Colorado. I was the BPW champion there for a very long time. Right now, as wrestling will be, it houses egos and creative differences. And right now, I choose to opt out of that, and I choose to go where I'm happy. So once that place makes me happy again, I'll be back there. If not, hey, um, I've got bookings through December that'll make me very happy and very, very full in. It'll help my wallet. I can tell you that. So, but I can't wait to go back to Colorado.
Got another one just before I go on to the last item of the episode. Jason Wayne, I'm still wanting to be a ref. Done it before and it was a blast. I want to be the champion of a ref.
That's awesome. I train professional referees. I train managers. I train wrestlers. I train people on commentary. I do it all at my school at Off the Ropes Pro Wrestling. I love the fact that people are wanting to still be referees. Everybody wants to be the star. I've had people come to me and go, I want to be a wrestler, and realize that maybe it's not for me. Is there anything else I can do? And I say, absolutely. There's tons of things you can do. Camera work, commentary, referee, manager. And sure enough, people find their way as a referee. So it's one of the best places to work in a professional ring. You're right there. You're in the middle of The Rock and Hulk Hogan. You're in the middle of Savage and Steamboat. You're in the middle of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And, you're in the middle. You have the best seat in the house, but you also have a big responsibility. And that is not only to call things down the line. You have a bigger responsibility of making sure that people stay alive and coherent in their match. You have to know when somebody's lights are out. You have to know when, the lights are on, but nobody's home. You have to take care of these guys, communicate, pass the good word. It is not just put on your zebra shirt and count the 1, 2, 3, and we all go home. You have to do a lot of things in the ring to help us. We need you just as much as the fans need you to count that 3. So I love referees. Shout out to a lot of them. Jason Ayers in WWE is one of my good friends. I love him. He is a clown, but he is one of the most, passionate and wonderful people I've ever met in my life. So yes, good job on being a referee and wanting to be a referee, champion of a referee.
Speaking of a referee, and you probably know him because of GCW as well, but he's been booked over here for Progress. He's coming ref over here. Great guy, Dan Perch.
Yes.
Dan Perch. What a man. What a man. Always smiling. Always smiling, that guy.
He's like the happiest person ever. I don't think I've ever seen him have like a fit or anything. It's always like, hey, Perch. He's like, hey, how you doing? Are you happy? Are you feeling good? He's just, every time I see him, I hear the song playing. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note by note. Don't worry. Be happy. Every time I see him, that's what I see. You know what I mean? And he's just like, la, 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 la. He's a wonderful person. Shout out to you.
Former guest on the show. And I say, he was at Progress. So the lads, Mike Angus, my good friend who works for Progress, they're just amazing. He's got stock, but level-headed. Yes. Level-headed, and that's the sort of person. If you want to be a referee, reach out to him because he'll help you.
Absolutely,
he'll have advice for days. Advice for days. What a guy! What a guy! But Gino, before we go, you were working security on WWE SmackDown, and the feud is still going on. My God, what a feud it's been! Cody Rhodes and obviously KO Kevin Owens. But you were at SmackDown. In Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, let me tell you something. I have been booked consistently every year since 2014 with the WWE. There is There hasn't been a year that I've missed. Even through COVID, I've been there. And literally, I love and hate hearing this, but it's something that, I always kind of get down on myself about. But every time I see everybody back there, they're like, oh, you again, from the doctors to the wrestlers, to the referees, personnel. Oh, you again, not you again. When are you going to be here? I'm like, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to get here. It's taking a lot of time, but I'm a patient man. I've been here for 17 years. I can go another 17 if I need to. So with that being said, I've had the pleasure of working with the greatest talent in the world. There's a reason why these people are global phenomenons and athletes, and shout out to all of them. I got to work with WWE champion Cody Rhodes. I've got to work with Kevin Owens. I've got to work with a lot of the personnel backstage, and whether it be Adam Pearce, Ken Doane, you guys see it right there, Gregory Helms, WWE ID prospect Jordan Oasis. So I've got to be in the ring in front of thousands of screaming fans and just being on TV and everybody kind of going, I know that guy, that's Gino Rivera, and this helps my stock. You know what I mean? This helps me a lot. Yeah, security work isn't really a big job, but you know what? It is a big job. We're holding the WWE champion, and that takes a lot. That guy Cody Rhodes is very strong, and he's the future of our business. He is the John Cena of our business today, and I'm so happy that I got to share the ring with him. It is a lot of hard work doing security work, doing any extra work. They don't just take anybody. You've got to be overqualified to be in that business, to be in that company, and I couldn't be more happier. I'm so gracious. I'm so gracious and happy towards WWE. I love WWE, and I can't wait to work there one day.
It's great. It's great when you posted. So I was like, right, I need to watch SmackDown. I need to watch it. Gino's been on TV. Gino's been on TV again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I pop up everywhere. I love seeing the YouTube videos where they out me out. They kind of, there's a few videos that I was tagged in, and it's like, hey, this guy is a professional wrestler. He also goes by the name of Gino Rivera, but you can also see him here. And it's my face with the New Day. You can see him here with Walking Goldberg. You can see him here having a match on 205 Live. You can see him here getting beat up by Keith Lee. So it's like, I love seeing my face here. And it's kind of been like a funny thing in the United States where everybody's like, try to find Gino Rivera. Try to find him. I know he's there. And sure enough, I'm hiding somewhere. You know what I mean? So I love the fact that people do that. And I love working there. It's the best place to work. I can't believe sometimes when I'm back there, I'm just sitting there looking around and I'm like, wow, I'm here. I'm not there yet, but I'm here. I'm close to it. I've had a sip of the coffee, but I haven't finished the coffee. And I'm just so proud of the hard work that I've put in to even get seen back there and talk to some of my friends there. It is the biggest place to be, the best place to be, the biggest stage in the world. And maybe one day I'll be there, maybe not, but I'm just so glad that I am back there amongst my peers and legends and people that can teach me so that I can teach the students of today, the wrestlers of today that come up to me in the locker room and go, I need help. Can you help me? And I go, yes, I've learned it from the WWE. I've learned it from, this legend that I've had to sit down with, and William Regal sitting with me for hours talking about stuff. You know what I mean? I literally got to try out the Netflix canvas that you guys see today. I was the first one to actually step foot on that and actually bump around. And I had the privilege of doing that in front of Triple H and William Regal. And when I asked what was something I could fix, to these guys saying, no, you did everything right. You did, William Regal in his calm voice, no, you've done everything right. You've got everything, as far as footwork. I like the way you sell your facials and everything. Your striking was very good, and I just hope you pursue this industry as much as I have, And if you let him talk, he's going to talk for 3 hours. So, but I love the fact that Hunter was like, thumbs up, good job, man. Take a bump, hit the ropes. Your nuts are hanging out. I'm just kidding, but he was just wonderful, and I love WWE so much.
Perfect. No, absolutely brilliant. Be a sponge. That's what I'm taking away from that. be a sponge. Just keep being a sponge. Continually be a sponge. Happy anniversary as well. I know you've said about 17 years. That was very recently, wasn't it? You posted about that. And,
yes.
you know, like you say, another 17 years. Let's do it.
It's been a wonderful ride for 17 years. I actually got to spend it wrestling in El Paso with a bunch of young guys in the business who I main evented that show. And I sat around the locker room and I held court and I just pretty much talked. They had questions and I answered and I tried to help them. I still help them to this day. I love helping. That is my biggest thing to me, is passing on the word. And I tell everybody, you cannot take this in the grave with you. You have to give it up. This is knowledge that is you paid for. And yeah, you know, you want people to pay for it too. But, you know, there's some people that you see and you go, hey, you know what? That guy needs this and you need to give it to him for free because that is a star, you know? So I got to wrestle my 17th year in the main event. I won. I left El Paso, one of my favorite cities to wrestle. Shout out to Eddie Guerrero. Life is amazing right now. And I was supposed to hang it up this year. I'm trying to, but how can I when my phone keeps going off and all these bookings are coming and I'm trying, but I can't. It's too hard. I love it.
Absolutely. And I know you go to his grave, don't you? When you're in town, you always do that. Go to Eddie's grave, man. I love that. I love seeing that. I know whenever you're in town there, you go and pay homage to the late great Eddie Guerrero. Can't believe
I love going and visiting and praying. I'm a sucker for praying, and I just love paying my respects and my dues and stuff like that. I feel an aura and energy, and I feel close to them, and I just close my eyes and I just sit. And sometimes I just, wow, I was that kid watching Eddie Guerrero come down, during Nitro or on Thunder, and I got to watch him become WWE champion. And I just placed my hand on on his grave, and I just kind of feel that. And I just feel like anytime I do that, it empowers me. It strikes a nerve in me. And usually 9 times out of 10, when I go and visit these grave sites, I have a match that night. So I just feel a sense of energy, spark go into me. And I love that. So it's more of a respect thing. Anytime I go somewhere, I'm always looking for 2 things is, a wrestler's training school, their facility, their house, not 2 things, more things, a wrestler's grave site, wherever they came from. I like to go and explore. Like when I go to El Paso, I go to Eddie Guerrero's old house. You know what I mean? I go and see that. And then I also like to get into mischief and trouble and go see haunted things, but we won't talk about that.
We can do that next time. And the 3rd time you come on, there won't be a 4.5-year gap, let me tell you. I will have you back on. I wanted to do some promos, but I'm not going to do it this time. We'll do it next time, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'll say it, I can cut a promo better than half these people. I can't wrestle. I wouldn't be able to wrestle, but I can cut a promo better than half of these people on the scene at the moment. I truly believe that.
I believe too. I'm like, I am not the best wrestler, but I can talk you into a seat.
I've got no coordination. Don't get me wrong. I'm like Bambi, right? Let's just have that correct. But I tell you what, I could wax lyrical on a lot of people and make sense while I'm doing it. I would know how to sell a match. Not a problem. You know what I'm saying, Gino?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is where they're going wrong, and they don't want to promote a flyer. I've heard of promoters all the time. If you're so lazy, and I said to the promoters, I said, do not book them then. But they keep continually booking the same people. So it's up to them. Yes. I'm not a promoter. I'm not a booker. If you're lazy enough not to promote the show you're on, sorry.
What are we doing here? And I will say this to any show that I'm on, whenever you book me, you know what you're getting, you know what you're paying for. I wake up every day at 2:30 in the morning and I don't stop promoting myself all day, every day till about 10:30 p.m. And I'm back at it every single day. The reason why I say that is because not everybody uses social media. Not everybody goes on social media every day. And if you promoted yesterday and I haven't been on social media in 3 months, I don't know you wrestle. But today, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to promote that same show that I promoted yesterday. And I'm not in it for the likes. I tell people I can get 2 likes, I can get 2,000 likes. But I tell you what, when you come to my page, my social media, you will know Gino Rivera is wrestling somewhere, sometime with somebody. And every day, I work for so many promotions that there's something to promote every day. your shirts, your merch, your wrestling, your promos, your matches, your interviews. Hey, look, I'm on this, this platform, and I was promoting this way back, you know what I mean? So there's always something to do. Post your favorite match. Talk about, a new move that you've learned. Talk about your school. Oh, there's a flyer with your face. I am a true believer in, if you are not promoting the flyer, the show, the match, the video card, whatever it is that your face is on, then maybe next time you shouldn't be booked. You always want to push yourself out there. I do this a lot. If you mention my name, you say it in an interview, you put it in text, you post a picture with me, you post something, I take that and I promote it because it's something for me. It's content, and content is king. If you don't have it, what are we doing?
Don't want to keep you much longer. Just on promoting Ric Flair. Ric Flair's coming to the convention in Manchester, 15th, 16th of February. Ric Flair has done videos for Love of Wrestling to promote the show. He's on the marquee. He probably doesn't need to, but he's doing it. He's done a video saying, I will be in Manchester, 14th of February, 15th, 16th. He's done it. He's a name. They can throw him on a poster. He doesn't necessarily have to do anything. He's doing it. He's doing it. Buff Bagwell's coming over. Lex Luger's done a promotional video. Wow. Sting's over on the Saturday. I'm missing him. I'm going on the Sunday. Yeah. Get off your arse. Get off your arse and promote the show you're on. It's not hard.
You got to tell these independent talent, are you better than Sting? Are you better than Flair? Are you better than Buff Bagwell?
I am just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there, Gino. That's what I'm doing. Before you go, social media, please say where the viewers and listeners can find you.
Absolutely, guys. Again, my name is Gino Rivera, the Frank Sinatra of the Spanish Mafia. You can find me on all social media platforms available today. I am constantly on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. I take bookings on a regularly. There's nowhere I won't go around the world, nationally, locally, does not matter. Contact me at Gino_Rivera@yahoo.com. I would love to come and work for you and bring out the pit bull that you all wait to see.
Perfect, man. My guest today returning for his second appearance, long overdue as well. It won't be 4.5 years next time. It is Gino Rivera. Fantastic, mate. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure to be on your platform. I can't wait to do this again, and hopefully I'll have more stories. I'm pretty sure I will. But thank you so much. Thank you to your audience, my audience. We will do this again.